Tyirell Garraway.
Hi, I'm John Osso.
Hi, I'm Chhin.
Hi, I'm Jakus, and we're rangeops.
Hi, we are rangeops, a web-based lab-as-a-service platform built to support over 800 IT students at Durham College. Students should not have to choose between outdated hardware and falling behind in lab work. We solve this by hosting a lab centrally, giving students 100% finalized web access without needing to install a VPN or additional software. Powered by Proxmox, the environment is secured with TLS 1.3 encryption, two-factor authentication, and firewall ACL so students can focus on their learning securely. Our infrastructure features remote access using RDP, single sign-on with Authentic, and active threat monitoring with Wazuh's XDR and SIEM. In the upcoming demo, we will demonstrate our 3 interactive modules: a secure Windows 11 sandbox, a live ransomware simulation, and a phishing email scenario.
Upon logging on to rangeops.ca, you will find 2 buttons leading to the student login and the project details. Further scrolling down, you can see the main challenge faced by students in this scenario and how our solution fixes it. Here you will find each member of the team, what roles and responsibilities they had. Finally, you will have the core capabilities of our solution. Now that we have a layout of this application, we can go to Access Labs in the upper right corner. Clicking Continue to Login will take us to the authentic single sign-on service used by rangeops. It will take the credentials of the student as well as MFA and bring them to the application portal. Here in the application portal, now having logged in, we can see 3 provision modules. One is a basic sandbox environment with plans to implement a Linux fundamentals module. We have a ransomware scenario, and finally a phishing scenario. We are going to get started with demonstrating the ransomware scenario module. Click Start the Lab, and what this will do is provision a VM within Proxmox and present it to you in the application portal using RDP. So you can see in the loading module, it will clone the VM, boot the template, install the guest agent, install the security agent, provision the mailbox, configure the email client, and register the RDP connection. And then it will let the user know when the lab is ready for usage. With the VM now successfully created, being completed and connected according to the template configuration, we can now hit Open RDP to access our Windows 11 environment. Now that I'm in the Windows 11 environment, I can simulate the ransomware scenario. So say as an everyday user, you're browsing the web and you happen to stumble upon a sketchy website with a sketchy link. So you would go to facultyfort.ca, browse around, and you can already tell it's suspicious. But if you click on anything, and especially if you accept the download, such as freeram.exe, you then run the file and it's over from there. So upon running this file, it will encrypt everything in the documents folder and present a screen which you can't escape from saying, your PC was hacked. If you pay this amount in Bitcoin, we will give you the encryption keys to get the files back. One thing I would like to point out about this custom-made ransomware is that in the shell, it tells you every indicator of compromise as well as specific attack patterns on the MITRE matrix that will be detectable in Wazuh. This is good for documentation purposes. Back to the VM, we can see that now there is a giant screen on my window preventing me access from editing my files or even closing the application. Now let's go into how Wazuh can help detect and prevent such things by implementing automative and administrative responses. To prevent the user from doing anything else, the user can simply end the lab and report the incident to the administratives, specifically the security team. But the security, thanks to Wazuh, will have already been alerted of this happening because of automated response. Now within the Wazuh SIEM platform, where you can see that the agent we provisioned was automatically deployed to connect to the Wazuh manager. And because of that, we now have detailed logs and events of every activity that took place on the system. This includes something called rules, which is a detection of an event that happens when a certain security practice is performed, them having various levels in severity. Because of the ransomware, a specific rule will be triggered that will alert the administrator through email, and will then trigger active response, which is basically an automatic firewall deployment that'll further protect the system. One thing to note about Wazuh is that it detects a lot of traffic and pinpoints as much as it can into a rule and severity level. This way, the administrator can better document traffic and pinpoint when an attack happened, as well as the indicator of compromise. Waza is a very powerful platform, giving you security intelligence on a bunch of different things, such as the CVE gives you different inventory of events, how they specifically would apply to events on your machine, as well as MITRE matrix intelligence, as well as intelligence on specific events and teams. All of this really help document security intelligence into the event of an attack on your machine. What does active response actually do? Well, it is a custom made script that the manager specifies to push on each agent machine within the bin active response directory. That is installed by default when each agent is configured. So when a specific rule is triggered, the active response is then executed. This can be coded to perform a variety of different functions, but for my instance, it will detect the PID of the ransomware and actively stop the response, shut down the account, and disable a domain. Following Wazo, we have Module 2, which is phishing. One important thing to keep in mind is that you must follow the exact same sign-in process using Authentic as described earlier to create the next module.
As this is spinning up, you're then going to want to navigate to Thunderbird to then get access to your mail client. So you're just going to use the exact same credentials that you used to log in initially, which also using the kind of alias at the end of rangeops.ca to then connect. And then as you can see, it's going to try and look for common server names. Then you can also connect to your mailbox that is automatically provisioned in the background. And then you should be able to see all of your security emails to then begin this lab. So there we go, provisions. Connected. And then you're going to notice 8 new messages are going to come into your mailbox. I just want to hit finish, skip. There we go. So now, for example, on one of these emails, you could see that your VPN access certificate is expiring in 4 to 8 hours. Failure to renew this will result in the loss of remote access. You can clearly see that this email would be considered a phishing email because, for one, based off of the link, you could see that it's not exactly authentic in terms of structure. It's using HTTP, which is everything is in plain text, which also isn't good in terms of information. And it's specifically originating to a domain that rangeops also doesn't actually host. So this one also, based off of the text, is letting you know that it's urgent and your VPN certificate expires in 48 hours. So to test this specific URL in this lab environment, you're going to want to copy it. You're going to want to navigate to the web-based platform that I was discussing earlier, such virus total. You want to click. You're going to want to just check the URL to see exactly what is being flagged on this specific URL. So if you scroll up, you can see that this one is considered malicious and it's also being flagged for phishing as well, which means that this email in particular wouldn't be considered authentic and it would actually be harming you and trying to find your information actively. So then this one would also be noted down in the documents that we also provide, which will then be a separate component that you would have on the side, and you would fill out exactly what you discovered based off of this specific URL. Now, additionally, showing exactly what one of these links potentially could look like just to click on them. If you were to click on this one you could see is asking you for critical security information. Now, you could also see specifically for the updates one, it's not secure, so everything's in plain text. And it even lets you know that within the browser, this connection is not secure. So entering these and hitting patch now would then allow the attacker to gain information on you. And that's a highlight of the lab. Now you would go through all of these and then specifically note down exactly what you found. And then once you're finished, then you would just hit end lab. And then the specific VM would then be terminated. Just to highlight, you could see that we have a Nextcloud application, our rangeops lab portal, which was also showcased previously, and also our remote access portal, which is also showcased previously, which is specifically locked down to whatever user is going to actually be signed in. So just as our admin interface side, just to highlight exactly what we have applications here, and we're also using OAuth and OpenID. So for our provider type between our applications, we decided to go with OAuth 2 and OpenID provider, or OIDC, between our applications. So specifically, OAuth 2 was our authorization framework, allowing essentially applications to access APIs on behalf of a specific user. So specifically, OAuth 2 allows you to determine what you can do, while OIDC determines who you are. So that's exactly what we're using under the hood. So specifically, to sync our on-prem AD users to Authentic, we decided to use LDAP. So then these users can also be synced across, and once the users are created once, they're synced across all platforms, and utilizing SSO, they'll be able to access everything with just one set of credentials securely. So just to showcase the exact users that we also have, we scroll down. You can see that we have J Osso, it's for John, we have Brandon, we also have Aaron, we also have a bunch of demo users. And then to also showcase our LDAP, which was made, it's a Federation and Social Login, which will then sync our users, which then shows full connectivity. So the sync is just ran and all the users are being synced securely, and they could also have one set of credentials.
Hi, John here. I'm just going to be walking you through the collaborative platform that we set up. It's based on Nextcloud. And once we're in here, we're just going to want to go to Manage Labs. And now we're in Nextcloud. As you can see, the main page here, you have some recommended files, some talk mentions. So these are your previous chats, unread mail, and any upcoming events. As you can see, I got a meeting. Here you can change your status, as well as check the weather, and you can also just customize whatever you'd like. Yeah, here up top here is where you just view your files. You can upload all your documents, view some photos. It's a nice picture of a bird. And then when you go to talk, this is a group here. I just added Tyirell to it. And then this is a direct chat with Tyirell. Also has a built-in mail client. So I've already set up an email here. And oh, looks like I need to contact my local administrator. We also have contacts, and there's the calendar. So yeah, that's just a quick rundown of Nextcloud. Thank you. Oh man, there's so much I gotta do. I gotta prepare the infographic for the meeting. Oh, the meeting! Oh, it's in 3 days. Oh no. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, getting a call. Hi.
Hello, Mr. Osso. I just wanted to check in to see how those budget reports are coming along.
Oh, they're going along great, boss. I'll have them on your desk by Monday.
I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks, sir.
All right, take care.
Bye. John here again. Just showing off our Active Directory environment. As you can see here, we have the domain rangeops.ca. And here are our users. Right now we just have the demo users in there, as well as each of our admin accounts. And if we go to our child domain, as you can see here, ex.rangeops, this is just our Exchange server. We wanted to give it more resources, and here are all those accounts and some other ones with email setup with their mailboxes.
Before we continue, here is every system used during the project and their specific hardware.
Hey, it's Brandon from rangeops again. Thank you, John and Tyirell, for showing us the lab and hardware infrastructure. Let me show you how we're accessing everything through a proxy. For our proxy, we're using Nginx Proxy Manager, which is paired with our Cloudflare account. By utilizing this proxy, we can route all external traffic through our infrastructure strictly through 443. This critical design choice allows us to securely access our entire platform without the severe risk of mass port forwarding through a firewall. To secure that connection, we're utilizing Let's Encrypt, a certificate authority provider that gives out free TLS certificates. This integration ensures our services meet absolute latest web security encryption standards, guarantee our students' lab sessions, credentials, and network traffic are never transmitted in plain text. Moving on to our Cloudflare dashboard, here's where we're managing the rangeops domain. Under our DNS records, you'll see several domain A records. While these point back to our network's public IP address, the connections are actually proxied behind Cloudflare's internal servers. This creates a protective shield, meaning our true IP is never exposed to the public internet. Additionally, our mail traffic we are using is SMTP2Go. This acts as a reliable, smart host, allowing our internal Microsoft Exchange server to communicate externally and reliably deliver emails. Finally, for an extra layer of defense at the edge, we are heavily utilizing Cloudflare Security Suite. We have active rules configured for strict geo-blocking, automated bot mitigation, and DDoS protection to ensure our infrastructure remains highly available.
Thank you for finishing the video. If you want to check it out, you can go to rangeops.ca. And remember, RangeOps provides a range of opportunity.